Political science, the first lesson of political science, that is our constitution. Okay, I'm going to start with our constitution. Okay, so what is the neat bill written as constitution? Okay, you have learnt in 7th standard itself. 7th standard, by 7th standard only you knew the meaning of constitution. Okay, so in India has to face many problems. Why the constitution has to be framed? Okay, so the reasons are that is India was facing many problems soon after independence. What are the problems? Like rehabilitating the refugee who migrated from Pakistan, then merge of the princely states, maintenance of law and order, or the challenges during the beginning of independence. Okay, these are all the challenges. That is, they have to give refugee to the Pakistani people, those who migrated, and then the princely states has to be united. That is, the merge of the princely states. Okay, these are all the challenges that our country has to face. Okay, it was Sardar Patel, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He was the one who was the merge of princely states. He merged, okay, successfully achieved. He was the one who was successful in achieving and merging the princely states into Union of India. Understood? Union of India. Okay, next it is even the challenges of framing the constitution. First I told you that is rehabilitating the migrants from Pakistan. Then the merge of the princely states. Okay, then I told you it is about the, that is framing of constitution. Okay, now in order to enable the govern the country, what are the reasons? Okay, now let us know about the structure of a constitution, its characteristics, and about the fundamental rights and duties. Okay, first the Indian Constituent Assembly. First of all, you should know what is constitution. Okay, constitution is, it is a set of written rules and regulation. Set of written rules and regulation. Okay, that is guiding the administration of a state. Okay, it is a written constitution. Ours is a lengthiest constitution. Okay, so it is the written regulation. The regulation that has to be followed by every citizen of a country. Understood? So now the recommendation of the Motilal Committee and the decision taken by the meeting of the National Congress at Karachi in 1939. The meeting which was held in Karachi in 1939. Okay, it as per the recommendation of the Cabinet Committee, a constituent assembly with Indian members. Okay, had formed in 1946. It was formed in 1946. But in the beginning, there were 389 members. There were 389 members in the constitution. But the assembly at the end, so the total number came down to 299. In the beginning, I told you it was having 389 members, but it came down to 299 members. Okay. Now, the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held on December 9, 1946. First cabinet meeting was held in 9th December 1946. The next was held on 11th December 1946. Okay, under the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the then chairman. So under his leadership, the committee, the cabinet took place. Okay, like Nehru, then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, then C. Rajagopalachari, K.N. Munishi, T.T. Krishnamachari, Srimati Sarojini Naidu, Srimati Suchitra Kaplani attended the meeting. They were the prominent members from India K.C. Reddy, Kendall Anuvantaya, Tekur Subramaniam and others were also present. Okay, so these are the members of the committee who attended the meeting which was held on 11th December 1946. The prominent leaders who had attended the committee meeting. Okay, next it is the drafting committee. Okay, the Constituent Assembly formed 22 committees and 5 subcommittees under the examine in detail. Okay, all the issues related to the country. Okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of one of the most important committee, that is the drafting committee. He was the one who drafted. Okay, that is why he is called as the chief architect of Indian Constitution. He is called as the chief architect of Indian Constitution. The other members of this committee were Gopalaswamy Iyengar, then Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, then K. Munishi, T. Krishnamachari, or some of the eminent statesmen who attended the Constituent Assembly. Okay, next after that it is the preamble to the Constitution. Okay, you know what is the preamble? Preamble, it is the heart of the Constitution. The preamble starts like this. It starts, "We the people of India." Okay, the preamble is stating that we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens what are the rights, that is justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. These are all the preamble written in the Constitution. Okay, the preamble contains the fundamental policies. It contains all the fundamental policies, values, principles and goals of the Constitution. It is based on the aspiration and ideals of the people of India. Okay, the preamble is a part of the objective resolution put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru on December 13, 1946 and approved by the Constituent Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. Okay, the resolution upholded the nature of India's sovereign democratic republic. So now one by one I will explain you, that is what are this one, that is the Indian Constitution, that is preamble, that is sovereign. What is sovereign? Can you tell what is sovereign? Sovereign is India is independent both internally and externally. It is having its own foreign policy. It is having freedom to frame its own policy. Okay, it is not under the control of any other country. Understood? It is not under any other country's control, and it is having its own non-alignment policy and 5-year policy, by implementing which the country has achieved internal and external autonomy. So India is a sovereign country. It is not under any other country's control. It is independent. It is having its own foreign policy, non-alignment policy, and its own 5-year plans. Okay, so that is why it is called as sovereign. Next it is socialist. What is socialist? Socialist means what? It seeks to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. It also safeguard and protect the interest of the poor and the weaker section. Okay, it fulfills the gap. Okay, next it is, that is to enable this directive principle of state policy have been incorporated in the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, so next it is secular. What do you mean by secular? What do you mean by secular? You have learned this in 8th standard also, is it? I have explained you in the 8th standard. What is secular? Yes, the word secular is incorporated in the constitutions through the 42nd Amendment. That is, no religion has been given the status So that is the reason why there is no religion has been given any special status as national religion. Okay, so India is a secular country. India is a secular country. Okay, it treats all the citizens equal, irrespective of their religion, faith. No religion is given national citizen law. So that is the meaning of secular. Next it is democratic. Put it in mind, democratic republic. Democratic republic means, what is democratic republic? India shall have an elected person. It is having a elected person. Elected person as a member. Okay, elected person. So the fact that our head of the state, President of India, who is elected for a period of 5 years, prove that our country is a republic. There is no king or queen's rule. Previously not known, is it? Previously, before independence and after independence also, our country was ruled by the kings and queens, is it? You know so many kings, Akbar, Shah Jahan, they all were the kings. But after this one, after independence, we have framed our own constitution. Our constitution came into force on 26 January 1950. Came into force, is it? So that time the people are elected. People are ruling. Democratic. The country fought by the people, of the people and for the people. Democratic. Republic. It is not having kings or queens rule. Understood? It is having its own foreign policy. It is having everything equal. It is giving equal. So all the fundamental rights are given to the citizens of India. Okay. So that is why it is called as the democratic republic. Understood? Next I will be explaining you about the salient features of our constitution. What are the salient features of a constitution? First, it is written and lengthiest constitution. In the beginning, when I started the lesson, I told you that our constitution is the lengthiest constitution, written constitution, a set of rules and regulation, which is to govern the state. Okay, according to the constitution which is written, the people have to abide by the rules and regulation. Okay, the powers and functions of the organs of the government, like what are the organs? The legislature, the executive and the judiciary. These three are the organs of the government, okay, are being delineated in the constitution. Moreover, fundamental rights, duties, directive principles of state policy, etc. all are written in our constitution. Okay, everything is written in our constitution. Originally, our constitution consisted of 22 chapters. How many chapters? 22 chapters, 8 schedules and 395 articles. So it is a lengthiest constitution. Very big. Okay. So later, after many amendments, it has become lengthy constitution. In the beginning, I told you it was having 22 chapters. Okay. It was having 22 chapters. Then after that, it became lengthier. It has changed to 25 chapters. Okay. And it was having 8 schedules. So how many schedules? 8 schedules it was having. But later on, it was shifted to 12th schedule. Okay. It changed to 12 schedules, and there I told you 395 articles. Okay, but now because it is the lengthiest, it has changed to 465 articles. Understood? I told you in the beginning it was having that is 22 chapters, and after that, because it is lengthiest constitution, it has been increased to 25 chapters. And was having 8 scheduled, and this 8 scheduled was changed into 12 scheduled. Then here articles, 395 articles were there, and that one was changed to 465 articles. Did you all understand? Yes, these are all the changes, the amendment, the constitution amendment, the changing. The constitution has been changing from time to time. So that is why written and lengthiest constitution. that have special procedures, special, okay, little bit of tougher, okay, that also can be amended. That is called as rigid or complicated constitution. A constitution is neither too flexible nor too rigid. It is not very flexible also. It is not too rigid also. So it is partly flexible and partly it is rigid. Okay. Next it is parliamentary form of government. A constitution provides for a parliamentary form of government. The sovereign power, the supreme power is vested in the hands of the elected members. The elected members are having the supreme power. They are having the sovereign power. Okay. The executive is responsible. The organs I told you, executive, judiciary and legislature. Is it? So now the executive it is responsible to the legislature at the central and state levels. The cabinet shall be in power as long it enjoys the confidence of the legislature. Next it is republic system. Republic system. What is republic? The constitution has declared India a republic. Is it? The head of the country is indirectly elected by the citizens. Okay. In India, the president is the constitutional head of the state and he is elected. I told you everything should happen through election. Democratic, by the people, to the people and for the people. Democratic republic. It is not ruled by monarchy or the king's rule. It is ruled by the people. Republic. Understood? So next it is fundamental rights. The rights that our constitution has given to the people are called fundamental rights. You have the fundamental rights. How many fundamental rights are there? 6 fundamental rights are there. Okay. If the fundamental rights are taken away or endangered, the citizens can directly appeal to the High Court or the Supreme Court. All the citizens have the fundamental rights. Okay. The fundamental rights, you know, what are the fundamental rights? Is it? Fundamental rights are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, then right to cultural and educational right, then right to constitutional remedies. All these rights are there in the constitution, which is a must to every constitution. It gives the privilege, it gives the enjoyment to all the citizens. That is why constitution, it is a set of written rules and regulation. What is there in the rules? The people has to abide by the rules given by the constitution. Understood? So now I'll be explaining you one by one about the fundamental rights in the next class. Maybe